My name is Arjun. I grew up in a small town, surrounded by people who knew each other for years. My parents were always busy with work, so I often spent time at my uncle's house. That's where I met my Aunt Mira. Mira wasn't my blood relative. She had married my uncle just 2 years earlier, but she had a warmth that made everyone feel safe around her. She had an infectious laugh, eyes that seemed to understand your pain without you saying a word, and a way of speaking that made you feel heard. When I turned 21, I left for college in the city. Life there was different, loud, fast, and sometimes lonely. Whenever I felt lost, I'd remember Mira's words. No matter how tough life gets, find one thing every day to be grateful for. One day, during my final year, I got a call from my uncle. He said he had to go abroad for work for several months, and asked if I could stay with Mira for a while. I agreed, happy for the chance to see her again. When I arrived, I noticed something had changed. Mira's once bright smile was now faint, almost forced. The house felt quieter, heavier. Over dinner, I asked if she was okay. She hesitated, then said softly, "I'm fine, Arjun. Just some days feel longer than others." Over the next few weeks, we talked more. I learned that Mira had been feeling alone. My uncle's long trips, combined with the pressure of managing everything at home, had worn her down. She told me she had stopped painting, the hobby she once loved, because she no longer felt inspired. I listened. I reminded her of how her paintings used to bring joy, not just to her but to everyone who saw them. One evening, I brought home a set of brushes and paints. "If you can't find the inspiration," I said, "let's create it together." Slowly, the old Mira began to return. We'd spend evenings on the balcony, painting sunsets and laughing over cups of tea. She started sharing her dreams again. How she once wanted to open an art gallery. How she wished she could travel to see the places she painted. One rainy night, the power went out. We lit candles and sat in the living room, listening to the sound of raindrops. Mira looked at me with a soft smile and said, "Arjun, you remind me of a part of myself I thought I'd lost." I didn't know what to say. All I knew was that I cared deeply for her, not in a way that could be explained easily. It was respect, admiration, and something more, something unspoken. Days turned into weeks. The bond between us grew stronger, but we never crossed any lines. We didn't need to. There was a comfort in simply being there for each other, in knowing that someone understood without judgment. One afternoon, as we were arranging her paintings, Mira said, "Arjun, you've given me back my courage. I've decided to apply for a spot in the town's art exhibition." The night of the exhibition, I stood beside her as people admired her work. Her eyes sparkled in a way I hadn't seen in years. When a buyer offered to purchase 2 of her paintings, she looked at me, tears in her eyes. "This is just the beginning," she whispered. Before I returned to the city, Mira handed me a small canvas. On it was a painting of 2 chairs on a balcony, facing a golden sunset. "Whenever you feel lost," she said, "remember, there's always a place where you belong." Years have passed since then. Mira now runs her own art gallery, and I visit her whenever I can. Our story isn't one of grand declarations or dramatic endings. It's a story of quiet love, the kind that heals wounds and inspires dreams. Some people may never understand the depth of our bond, but that's okay. What matters is that, in a time when we both felt alone, we found hope in each other. And sometimes that's the most beautiful kind of love there is.